Hey guys, welcome to KM Reviews. I am Niddleman. Today I'm bringing you a spoiler-free review for the movie Kong Skull Island. And right away, I'm going to give you my rating to this movie, and if you want to find out why I give it that rating, stick around to find out. So I'm going to give this movie a friends with benefits. This movie was really fun to watch. You want to know why? Stick around. Okay guys, so this movie stars a slew of people. I mean, we're talking John Goodman, Samuel L. Jackson, Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, the fucking guy who does a bunch of motion capture for a bunch of other movies, and he's been in Black Mirror, but I forgot his name at this moment, and a lot of other people too. But here's what I will say without spoiling it. If you are going to see this movie for any particular actor or actress, do not get too attached to any of the characters, okay? Because the fact of the matter is, this movie follows in the steps of Godzilla. And if we all remember from Godzilla, Bryan Cranston was featured heavily in the trailers, and we thought he was going to be the main guy in the movie. But I'm going to spoil that movie real quick, so if you have not seen it, earmuffs. Bryan Cranston fucking dies really early in that movie, and his character is completely wasted. Un-earmuff. Okay, you guys, that's the one issue I'm going to get off my chest right away is the characters in this movie. You know, this is a Kong movie by far, but the characters still are important, and I heard a lot of stuff going into this movie about, oh, there's not much character development and blah, 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 blah. The thing is, I actually really liked a lot of the characters as they introduced them. I thought they had enough development for each of the characters for me to get attached to them. And then too many of them just kind of die and in very non-epic ways. I think every single person in this movie dies the exact same way, and here's what they do. They're doing something, and then you hear a noise, and then it's like, you know, and then they die somehow. You know, whether they're getting eaten or stomped on or whatever. Everybody does the same thing. They hear a noise, they go, oh shit. And then it's like, blah, and then, you know what I mean? And they're very unepic. It's not like they're, oh god, it's actually really disappointing the more I think about it. Maybe I should lower my rating. No, I'm not going to. But there's actually a few points in this movie where you're like, oh man, this guy, he's going to die epically trying to save everybody. He's going to do this really cool thing. And then it's like, oh, that's how he died? That was a fucking waste. I actually heard a couple old ladies in this movie, every time somebody would die, they'd be like, that was a fucking waste. And it's true. The way a lot of the characters die in this movie is just so unappealing. It's so unepic. It's such a bubble buster. I don't know how to explain it. The point is, don't get too attached to any of the characters in this movie. Just be ready for unepic deaths. But that's my major nitpick of this movie. That's the only reason I didn't give it a super good rating is for that. I got my negative out of the way right away. I had to get it off my chest. So let me talk about all the positives now, because there's a lot of those too. First of all, I got to talk about the imagery, the cinematography, the lighting, the way the movie looks is so fucking fun to watch. It is so good. There are a lot of throwbacks to movies like Apocalypse Now. There's these beautiful sunsets with helicopters and the ape rising up. There's so many like fire and people looking through fire at the ape and like these standoffs of eyes, and like the way they show scale in this movie is so well done. You see these giant creatures and these things that appear up. The animation is good. This jungle feels very scary to be at. It is so fun and cool to watch. It is so entertaining to look at. It looks awesome. So I thought the action in this movie was very well done. There's a lot of what I was worried about is King Kong being in the trailer and you don't see him till like maybe halfway into the movie, and then you see him like twice, and then that's it. And the rest of it would be about the characters. But no, actually Kong is in this movie quite a bit, and you see him fight a bunch of different monsters. You see him fighting the people. You see him fighting a bunch of stuff. And he probably has the best acting out of the movie. You see his facial expressions. You can understand why he's angry at certain points. You understand why he's defending people at certain points. Why is the way he is. You know, they have a backstory to Kong, actually, of like how he's there and why he's the only big ape and all that stuff. And there's this whole tribe. And anyways, point is, King Kong himself is fucking awesome. And the action is awesome. And if you're looking for an entertaining movie, this is the one to go to. But again, that's really all this movie has going for it, is the fun of the action and the visuals. That's why I gave it a friends with benefits. It's fun to look at, it's fun to play with, it's fun to watch. But there's no substance there, there's no real emotion there, there's nothing really behind all of the fun of the movie. Friends with benefits, you know what I'm saying? I could definitely see myself watching this movie on TV, putting it in the background 100 times, and it's never going to get old. I could see myself watching this movie a bunch of times, and it's just fun. Eat a bunch of M&Ms and popcorn. But this is never going to be a movie where I tell people, you haven't seen that, you need to fucking watch that. Sit your ass down right here, hold your eyes open, and take this movie in, and you're going to be so impacted and changed afterwards. You're going to be a whole new person when you watch this movie. No, this movie is just fun. That's all it is. And it's all it needs to be. I will say another positive as far as the characters go, though. The one character I really did love in this movie, because everyone else I didn't give a shit about this whole movie, was John C. Reilly. His character has a whole arc in this movie. I mean, really, this is John C. Reilly's movie in a way. I mean, he has a beginning, a middle, and an end to his character in such a good way. I wish they would have focused a little bit more on him. I mean, you see him when he's young, you see him when he's older, all sorts of stuff. And he is so funny, and he does such a good job acting in this movie. He's the one character the whole time. Every time he was on screen, I gobbled it all up because it was so fun to watch. He plays this really crazy guy that's been on this island for a long time. Everything he says, I mean, it's just so... I want to say some of the jokes that happen, kind of, but I don't want to give stuff away. But he's just a funny character, and he knows he's also an intelligent character, but really he's kind of the comedic relief, but he's also the soul to this movie. If you're not talking about King Kong, as far as the people go, he's the soul, and thank God he was in this movie, because if he wasn't, this movie would have been really bland. I will say there is an after credit sequence I suggest you sit around for. I really wish movie theaters would start advertising when there's after credit sequences, because obviously, Marvel movies have that. Pretty much everyone's become accustomed to that at this point. But who the hell is going to know Kong has an after-credit sequence? You know what I mean? So a lot of people left. I only knew because I saw some other reviews that mentioned it. So please stick around for that after-credit sequence. I do think it's worth watching. And I will tell you this, if you're not aware of where these movies are going, Godzilla and King Kong are supposed to have a Kong vs. Godzilla movie eventually. And I will say the after-credit sequence kind of alludes to that. Without spoiling anything again, I'm just saying that's why there's an after credit sequence, because they're going to be trying to make this whole monster universe thing at some point. But that's all I'm saying. Fuck you, I'm not spoiling anymore. Alright guys, so that's my review. Friends with benefits, good fun action, fun to watch, bad characters except John C. Reilly, and an after credit sequence. What else do you want to know about this movie? Go watch it. Go enjoy yourselves this weekend. If you haven't seen Logan though, go fucking see that movie first because it's badass. Then go see this movie. Let me know what you thought about it. Comment below. Do you want to see a Kong vs. Godzilla movie? Let me know. Just talk about everything below. And remember, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. What was I going to say? Anyways, just stick around for more movie reviews if you can handle it. Go.